again, may be seated. All right, name, put back on the record. You may continue, sir.
Yes, sir. When we left off, what you had just told us was that Hemy had told you that Rusty said Hemy was the only person he trusted his wife to travel out of town with.
Correct.
Did you, now at this point you knew Hemy was actually sleeping with his wife, right?
Yes.
Did you ask him about it? How did you respond to that?
I don't recall. I thought it was odd.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, you may redirect if you wish.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. White, we just spent the last little bit talking about the same old Hemy and his demeanor. Just
Yes.
want to ask you a few questions just about that. Now, when was it again? What year did you meet Mr. Neuman?
2006.
Okay. Now, is this phrase that we've been using, the same old Hemy, in regards to 2010, you saying he was the same old Hemy back in 2006?
As I knew him to be, yes.
Okay. Now, when you've been answering these questions and giving the answer of the same old Hemy, are you talking about his outward demeanor, such as his voice, his body movement, stuff like that?
His emotions.
His emotions.
Yeah, just kind of even keel.
And these would be the emotions that he's expressing them outwardly?
Yes.
Okay. Now, back in 2006, you said that you had some, let's try that. In between 2006 and 2010, you told us that there was some conversation back and forth between the two of you.
Yes.
Okay. And who initiated that conversation?
I did.
Okay. Now, during any of that period of time prior to August of 2010, was Hemy calling you?
No, sir.
Okay. Not one time, not 30 times?
No, sir. He may have returned a phone call that I called him, which I made a couple times a year, but that would have been it.
Okay. Prior to the fall of 2010, all the way including 2006, was he telling you personal information about himself? Outside of the context of real estate and whatnot?
No.
Was he sending you emails about girls in his life?
No.
At any point prior to the fall of 2010, was he setting up lunch dates so he could quote-unquote gossip with you?
No, sir.
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
First of all, he's leading.
Sustained. Let's ask non-leading questions.
Yes, sir.
She's on redirect.
At any point before the fall of 2006, was Mr. Neuman divulging any sexually explicit details to
Your
you?
Honor, I'm going to object again. The form of the question is what I object to is leading. It's his witness.
I agree, sustained.
Yes.
Counsel, let's ask questions that do not suggest the answer. She's on redirect. Please.
Sure. Prior to the fall of 2010, was Mr. Neuman contacting you for any reason?
No.
Okay. Any discussions with him about his marriage?
I don't believe so.
Now, we talked about a couple conversations you had with Mr. Neuman after you had learned about the shooting.
Yes.
Okay. At any point, did he send you a text message?
Yes. New Year's Eve.
Okay.
I received a text message from him that said, "Happy New Year. Hope it's a great year for you."
Now, had he done that to you, sent you such text message the year before?
No, sir.
Had he ever sent you a text message like that before?
No, sir.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
And rebuttal.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may.
In those previous years that counsel was asking you about, to your knowledge, had Hemy actually left the house? Or was he
No.
still living with his wife?
As far as I know, they were all living as a family.
So there wouldn't have been any need to call you and talk about other relationships if he wasn't having other relationships then, correct?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained. Rephrase.
Was there any conversation about other relationships or anything like that?
No, sir.
Were you aware of any other relationships?
No, sir.
As far as you knew, he was at his house in those other years, correct?
Correct.
As far as you knew, he was with his wife in those other years, correct?
Correct.
As far as you knew, he hadn't met Andrew Sneiderman those other years, correct?
Correct.
And he told you when he had met Andrew Sneiderman, right?
Yes.
And he hadn't met Andrew Sneiderman in 2006, right?
Correct.
He hadn't met Andrew Sneiderman in 2007, right?
No.
He hadn't met Andrew Sneiderman in 2008, right?
Right?
He hadn't met Andrew Sneiderman in 2009, right?
Right.
And he met Andrew Sneiderman in 2010, right?
Right.
And that's when the phone call started to you, when he started having a relationship with Andrew Sneiderman, right?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Any recalls?
No, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, read it.
No, Your Honor.
Lord, or read it. I should say. Lord, you made this witness be released and excused from subpoena. Do you want her to remain in subpoena?
She can be released.
No objection.
All right. Just want to thank you for coming. Have a good day. Drive safe. Call your next witness. Sure, come on up, lawyers. All right, you may proceed. Mr. Sampson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm just juggling documents. Your Honor, at this
Yes,
point,
ma'am. I'm listening.
there is a stipulation that was previously entered into between the state and the defense, and item 7 of that stipulation is to the transcript of Hemy Neuman from Georgia Tech, fall 1980 through spring 1984. I would offer into evidence Defendant's Exhibit 3, that is the transcript from Georgia Tech from fall of 1980 through spring of 1984.
And that's his academic transcript.
His academic transcript, yes.
Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be admitted into the record as evidence through stipulation, which means no additional witnesses need to be called other than the document itself. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. In that same stipulation, the state and the defense have stipulated that the chain of custody for Defendant Newman's mental health records from January 4th, 2011 until June 2016. I would offer into evidence Defense Exhibit 4A and 4B. It's just 2 volumes of the same set of documents. It is the psychiatric records from the DeKalb County Jail and the Department of Corrections regarding Hemy Neumann, Volume 1 and 2. Again, that's Defendant's Exhibit 4A and 4B,
4A and 4B?
As a business record, yes.
All right. Is any objection?
No objection.
All right, they will be admitted to the record as stipulated.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing further. May I approach with
You may. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a scheduling challenge. We're going to conclude early today, but the case is not over. We're still going, but because of some scheduling challenges, just have to make some adjustments, which is okay. Don't draw any conclusions from this scheduling challenge one way or the other. Now, when I release you for today, do not discuss the case. I'll allow anyone to discuss the case with you. If you do decide to have a meal here in the caterer, do not sit next to anyone who may or may not be discussing the case, either A, who works in or B, who works in. Once I release you for today, do not remain upon the 5th floor because I don't want you to interact with anyone you should not interact with or observe anything you should not observe or anything you should not hear at this point in time other than what you hear during the course of the trial. Do not read or look at any media coverage pertaining to this case. Do not go upon the internet and do any research about this case. Do not blog or write about this case while it's ongoing. Do not go to any location that may or may not have been made reference to. All the evidence will come to you in the form of sworn testimony from the witness stand and or any evidence that's stipulated during the course of the trial and or introduced during the course of the trial. You want to work to bring something to eat and snack with you during the sessions. Do not consume any alcoholic beverages during the lunch break. Although the lunch break has since passed, and do not overindulge either this evening or over the weekend. That will affect your ability to be clear-minded starting on Monday. When you come back on Monday, just turn your cell phones in the off position, and you'll be able to check your communication devices once you leave for the day and or during the extended breaks. The lawyers and the parties cannot talk or interact with you. I don't want you to draw any conclusion or emphasis from that one way or the other. And we will be on recess. As I mentioned to you earlier, we're not going to bring you back on Saturday or Sunday, at least at this juncture. And so we're going to be on break until Monday, which is a typical holiday. It's no different from any other work day if you work traditional Monday through Friday. So that in and of itself, which is good. Things are going a little faster, which is wonderful. But we're still going to stay on schedule as best we can. Sometimes I move some things around just for availability, which is not a problem whatsoever. As I said, it's relatively early break for the day, but that's not a problem. We will reconvene on Monday morning at 9:00 a.m. You can leave your notepads there in the jury room, just turn them face down. No one's going to look at your notepads even over the weekend. Just put your number on the outside of it. Continue to carry your badges with you and bring those back on Monday. I think it's on a 25% chance of rain for Monday. I did look at the forecast. I always have to do that from there. So, and I just mentioned that, give yourself enough time to leave from wherever you're leaving from so that you can be here on time. No one's been released from the jury. No one's been excused from the jury. I expect to see each and every one of you back here on Monday morning with your positive attitudes and your open minds and in your bodies. Other than that, follow the instructions of Deputy Garrett. I'll see you Monday morning at 9:00 a.m. Monday morning at 9:00 a.m. Thank you for keeping a positive mind, an open mind, a positive attitude. Wonderful. Always good seeing each and every one of you. I will see you on Monday at 9:00 a.m. 9:00 a.m. That's Monday. It's like August 15th. Have a good weekend. Lawyers and parties, you may be seated. Come up for a minute, lawyers. All right, Mr. Deputy, what we're going to do at this juncture, we're going to be in recess until Monday.
All rise. You may be seated.
Yes.